The heated 2025 MotoGP competition is reaching its peak once again. Ahead of the prestigious Catalan Grand Prix, the public spotlight is on Marc Marquez and Pedro Acosta, two Spanish riders from different generations who are set to face off on the track. Adding to the tension, Marquez made a surprising revelation about Acosta that sent the MotoGP world into a frenzy. What did Marc say? Let's discuss it. Pedro Acosta, who was previously dominant in Moto2, struggled when he moved up to MotoGP. The start of the 2025 season was particularly challenging for him. In the first round, he only managed an 18th place finish. The following races were similar, with him often falling outside the top 10. Many doubted that the KTM was the right bike for Acosta's career. However, as the season progressed, the young shark began to adapt. Ultimately, at the MotoGP in the Czech Republic, Acosta achieved his first podium of the season with a third-place finish. This momentum was no fluke. At the Hungarian MotoGP, Acosta performed consistently, staying close to Marc Marquez throughout the race. Although he ultimately had to settle for second place, this result proved that he has matured in facing the rigours of competition at the highest level. Pedro Acosta's impressive performance apparently didn't escape Marc Marquez's attention. When asked about his young rival's rapid improvement, Marquez didn't hesitate to openly praise him, something rare for the baby alien, who usually avoids directly praising his competitors on the track. He has a bright future ahead of him. He's already shown it. He has a lot of talent, Marquez said firmly. However, it wasn't just ordinary praise. Marquez became even more heated when asked about the possibility of Acosta joining Ducati in the future. With a calm expression, Marquez admitted that he couldn't predict with certainty, but he emphasized one thing: Acosta has the ability to determine his own career path. "We don't know what Acosta will do at Ducati," he said, "but if he continues performing the way he is, in a year and a half, he can go to any brand he wants," Marquez continued. This comment immediately sparked a heated discussion in the paddock. Ducati is currently at the peak of its glory, dominating almost every race. If Pedro Acosta were to join the Bologna-based team, the MotoGP world could witness a formidable combination of young, aggressive talent and the technology of the Ducati Desmosedici, currently considered the best bike on the grid. This scenario has made rivals wary. Observers believe that, if Acosta joins Ducati, MotoGP will enter a new chapter of rivalry, not only between Acosta and Marquez, but also a generational battle that could become an epic story on the track. MotoGP observer Carlo Pernat also responded to Marquez's statement. According to Pernat, Marquez's comment was an admission that he sees Acosta as a real threat in the future. Marc never speaks lightly. When he says Acosta has a bright future, it means he recognises a dangerous opponent is emerging. Their rivalry could be a major MotoGP story for the next 5 years, Pernat stated firmly. Meanwhile, MotoGP legend Casey Stoner sees the competition between Marquez and Acosta as a clash of experience and youthful courage. He believes that the race in Hungary was just the beginning of an intense drama that will continue in the next rounds. Acosta is bold, aggressive, and fearless. Marquez has unmatched experience and instincts. If the two continue to meet on the track, we will see one of the most exciting rivalries in history, Stoner said. Several other analysts also believe that this intergenerational duel will determine the future direction of MotoGP. Marquez, already an icon of dominance, will be tested by the rise of a new generation like Acosta, who is unafraid to challenge the big names. This rivalry is about more than just speed on the track. It's also about the mentality of a champion. If it continues, this rivalry could rekindle the passion and drama of MotoGP for viewers worldwide. Marc Marquez's statement about Pedro Acosta potentially moving to Ducati sparked intense speculation in the MotoGP paddock. Ducati is known as a team that is always hungry for the best talent in order to maintain its dominance. With its superior Desmosedici engine, Ducati aims to secure the future with elite riders. However, KTM clearly won't just let go of its young star. KTM boss Francesco Guidotti has made this clear. Pedro is our future. He's young and talented, and we're confident he can lead KTM to the World Championship level. We won't let anyone take him easily, Guidotti asserted. Despite this, rumours in the paddock continued to circulate. It was said that several Ducati managers had begun secret communications with Acosta's representatives. There was even speculation that Gigi Dall'Igna had prepared a long-term plan to position Acosta as Marc Marquez's successor. This situation has certainly intensified the tension, especially ahead of the Catalan Grand Prix, where the media spotlight will be on the two Spanish riders, Marquez, who is at the peak of his dominance, and Acosta, who is searching for his identity in the Premier class. The pressure is on not only on the track, but also behind the scenes in a major battle between KTM and Ducati that could change the MotoGP power landscape for years to come. MotoGP legend Casey Stoner believes that the rivalry between Marquez and Acosta could be a turning point for MotoGP. We are witnessing a generational duel. Marquez brings experience and intelligence, while Acosta brings the courage and aggressiveness typical of young riders. If these two continue to compete under equal conditions, their rivalry could become one of the most iconic in motorcycle racing history, said Stoner, who experienced fierce rivalries during the Valentino Rossi era. Meanwhile, Andrea Dovizioso emphasized a different point: the immense pressure now on Ducati, particularly on Francesco Bagnaia. When Marquez arrived, everything changed. Bagnaia, who had previously dominated, now appears to be under a lot of pressure. He feels like he has to prove himself in every race, not only against his rivals on the track, but also against Marquez's shadow within the team. If the rumours of Acosta's arrival are true, the tension in the Ducati paddock will be even more intense. It could trigger a bigger internal conflict than we imagined, said Dovizioso seriously. Currently, Pedro Acosta sits in 5th place in the standings, just below 3 Ducati riders and 1 Aprilia rider. This proves that KTM is slowly but surely starting to compete at the top, although it lags behind Ducati in terms of pure speed and consistent performance. Marc Marquez remains firmly at the top of the standings with a significant lead over his rivals, making him the favourite for the world title. However, Acosta's consecutive podium finishes have convinced the public that KTM has the potential to become a dark horse and disrupt the big team's dominance in the second half of the season. The young Spanish rider's consistent starts are not just luck, but the tangible result of the team's hard work developing the bike. Many observers believe that, if KTM continues to develop, Acosta could pose a serious threat to Marquez and Bagnaia in the remaining championship rounds. With all this drama, the Catalan Grand Prix is sure to be a prestigious event. For Marquez, racing on his home turf is an important opportunity to assert his dominance. Meanwhile, Acosta is determined to prove that he is not just a lucky rookie, but a real threat to the veterans. The public now awaits. Will Marquez once again demonstrate his superiority on home soil? Or will Pedro Acosta steal the show and shake up the baby alien's dominance? Leave your thoughts below.